Welcome back, students. Let us start part 3 of supply analysis. In this part I am going to discuss law of supply. A very big question can be there. Explain the law of supply. Understand the entire thing. Here we have to discuss in a very systematic way, that is introduction, then statement, then assumptions, then example, exception, everything. So let us start. The law of supply is also a fundamental principle of economic theory like law of demand. It was introduced by Professor Alfred Marshall in his book Principles of Economics, which was published in 1890. The law explains the functional relationship between price and quantity supplied. Let us see the statement. Other things being constant, higher the price of a commodity, more is quantity supplied, and lower the price of commodity, less is quantity supplied. There is a direct relationship between price and quantity supplied. That is, higher the price, higher is the supply, lower the price, lower is the supply. Symbolically, Sx is equal to function of Px, where S is supply, X is commodity, F is function, and P is price of a commodity. Assumptions of the law. Number 1, constant cost of production. It is assumed that there is no change in the cost of production. Second, constant technique of production. It is also assumed that technique of production does not change. Next, no change in weather conditions. It is assumed that there is no change in weather conditions. Natural calamities like floods, earthquakes may decrease the supply. Next, no change in government policy. It is also assumed that government policy like taxation, trade policy remain unchanged. Next, no change in transport cost. It is assumed that there is no change in the condition of transport facilities and transport cost. Next, prices of other goods remain constant. Next, no future expectation. The law also assumes that the seller do not expect future changes in the price of the product. Students, you understand one thing, when you are giving the assumptions, 7 pointers you have to by heart, and in front of that you can write remains the same or there is no change, right? It is very simple. So all the 7 point, and in front of that write remain constant or there is no change. Okay, let us understand the supply schedule. Example, in this supply schedule we can see that price is rise. We make 2 columns. First column is of price, second column is of commodity supplied. The price rises from 10 to 20, 30, 40 and 50. Supply also rises from 100 to 200, 300, 400 and 500. So higher the price, higher is the supply. There is a direct relationship between price and supply. So when price rises, supply also rises, and when price falls, supply also falls. This is the schedule, or this is the table. Now we'll see the diagram. In this diagram, along with x-axis, we are showing quantity supplied and y-axis price. According to the table, that is 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 price, and supply 100, 200, 300, 400 and 500. So when price is 10, supply is 100, price is 2, supply is 200, price is 30, price is 10, 100, price is 20, 200 supply, 30 price, 300 supply, 40 price, 400 supply, 50 price, 500 supply. So price rises from 10 to 20, 30, 40 and 50, supply also rises from 100 to 200, 300, 400 and 500. So when we join these points, we get SS curve. SS is the supply curve which slopes upwards. It shows the direct relationship between price and supply. Let us understand exceptions to the law. That means under certain circumstances, the law does not apply. The law of supply does not apply. So under which circumstances the law does not apply, that we will see. They are considered as exception. Number one, supply of labor. Labor supply is the total number of hours that the workers work at a given wage rate. It is represented graphically by supply curve. In case of labor, as the wage rate rises, the supply of labor would rise. So supply curve slopes upward. Supply of labor falls with the further rise in the wage rate, and supply curve of labor bends backward. This is because the worker would prefer leisure to work after receiving higher amount of wages. So, after a certain point, when the wage rate rises, the supply of labor tends to fall. I'll explain it with the help of diagram. Look at the diagram. Till this, when the along with x-axis supply of labor, that is hours of work, and along with y-axis wage rate. When the wage rate is 100, the labor supply was 5 hours. Wage rate rises to 200, labor supply is rising to 6 hours, and then with this thing it is rising to 7. But at this point it is bending backward, because when the wage rate is rising from 200 to 300, the labor supply falls from 7 hours to 6 hours, because this AS is the leisure time. AS is the leisure time. Here the supply curve SAS1 is a backward sloping. SA is the increase in the supply curve, and AS is the leisure time. Understand this, that here the supply, from here the labor is not ready to supply his labors more, and though the this rate of wage rate is rising. This is what you have to understand. This becomes an exception to the law of supply. In the diagram, the labor, I'll explain it to you with the help of diagram again. What we have shown in the diagram, just look at the diagram, how we can explain the diagram. Diagrammatically also it should be very, very clear to you. The supply of labor, here the supply of labor is shown on the x-axis and the wage rate on the y-axis. The curve SAS represents backward bending supply curve. Initially, when the wage rate is 100, the hours of supply is 5. The total amount of wages received is 500, because 5 into 100 is 500. When the wage rate rises from 100 to 200, the hours of work will also rise from 5 to 7 hours, and the total amount of wages rises from 500 to 1400. At this point, the laborer enjoys the highest amount, that is 1400. Look at here, 1400. And the workers works for 7 hours. If the wage rate rises from 200 to 300, the total amount of wages may rise, but the laborer will prefer leisure time. He prefers leisure time and denies to work for extra hours. So he is ready to work only for 6 hours. At the point A, the supply curve bends backward and it becomes an exception to the law. This is what I explained in this slide. Now let us move to the next exception. Second, agricultural goods. The law of supply does not apply to agricultural goods because they are produced in a specific season and their production depends on weather condition. Due to unfavorable changes in weather, if the agricultural production is low, the supply cannot be increased even at a higher price, because if the farmer if we are ready to give him more price, but because of the unfavorable weather condition he cannot produce, then the law of supply does not apply. Next, urgent need for cash. If the seller is in urgent need for hard cash, he may sell his product at low price. It is but obvious. Suppose if I am a seller and I need cash very urgently today itself, so at low price also I will sell off the commodity. Next, perishable goods. In case of perishable goods, the supplier would offer to sell more quantities at lower prices to avoid losses. For example, vegetables, eggs, we can't keep them for a long time and we can't wait for the higher price because they are going to get spoiled. So at whatever is the price, last we have to finish it up. Next, rare goods. The supply of rare goods cannot be increased or decreased according to its demand. Even if the price rises, supply remains unchanged. For example, rare paintings, old coins, antique goods, their supply cannot be more because they are rare. They are available in very, very limited quantities. So in that case, the law of supply does not apply. These are the exceptions to the law. So the students, the entire law of supply you have to explain in a very, very systematic way. First point is introduction, then statement of the law, then you have to give the assumptions, then example, schedule and diagram, then exception, all the exceptions you have to give, and then your answer will be over. So every point you have to cover in that. This is what is the explanation of the law of supply. Thank you very much.